Hello everybody, this is John Hansen. Welcome to the Florida Physique Report on FloridaPhysique.com. Today is Thursday, September 4th, and today on the show we are going to talk about the upcoming Royal Palm Classic, which is taking place this Saturday on September 6th. That's going to be held out in Fort Myers, Florida. And we're also going to go over the results from the very big North America competition that took place last weekend out in Pittsburgh. The North America was a pro qualifier. It was a two-day event. I think it attracted over 1,100 competitors from the NPC, all hoping to get their pro cards. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. We got a lot of Florida athletes that were competing this weekend. A few of them did get their pro cards, and we're going to talk about who placed high and how they did. We don't have a guest on the show today. We were supposed to have Naomi Ola, who is a bikini professional. She trains right here at the Powerhouse Gym in downtown Tampa. She just qualified to go to the Olympia on points. That was last weekend. She did 3 shows in a row, and she just qualified on points. So Naomi said she'll join us next week on the Florida Physique Report to talk about her training for the Olympia, which is coming up in only a couple weeks, September 20th out in Vegas. All right, so let's talk about the big North America show. This was a show put on by Gary Udit. It's actually an IFBB competition. It's not an NPC contest, because it includes the continental United States, so all of America, of course, and then Canada and Mexico. So they had competitors from all over, and a lot of competitors from the Florida area competed. There was 5 competitors that got their pro card from the Florida area, so I want to give them notice and talk about them for a minute. First of all, Tony Candelas, who is a men's physique competitor. We've talked about him on the Florida Physique Report before. Tony's got a really good physique, great upper body, wide shoulders, great abs, good muscle mass. Tony won first place in Class D of the men's physique over 35 division, and anybody who was a first place winner in their class got their pro card. So congratulations to Tony. Tony is now an IFBB professional. I also want to mention David Camphy. David went into the men's physique open, and he won first place in Class E. So congratulations to David. He is now an IFBB pro. Shandy Ortiz, girl, honestly I've never seen her compete before. I think she's from the east side of Florida. She's with Team Bombshell. Won her class and the overall in the Bikini Open, which is a hell of an accomplishment, because there's a tremendous amount of athletes, especially in the bikini and the men's physique. So for Shandy to win the overall, huge accomplishment. Shandy is now an IFBB pro. Congratulations to her. Beth Transu, who competes here in the Florida area. Beth went into the bikini over 35 division and took first place in Class A. So Beth is now an IFBB pro. Congratulations, Beth. And then finally, last but not least, Danny Garcia, who used to be married to The Rock, Dwayne Johnson, who was in attendance, by the way. The Rock was there all weekend long checking out the show. Danny is now a women's physique competitor. I believe she's from the Miami area, and she won first place in Class C and the overall in the women's physique over 35 division. So Danny is now an IFBB pro. And her new husband, I believe, took third place in the men's open bodybuilding. So we'll talk about him in a second. Now I want to mention some other competitors from the Florida area. Of course, there was a tremendous amount of competitors from Florida. Florida is a huge state for bodybuilding and fitness and physique. But we had quite a few competitors compete. I want to talk about the ones that made the top 5 in their division, because in a big show like this, to make the top 5 is a tremendous accomplishment. So I want to mention them. First of all, Tim Davis, who won the overall at the Dexter Jackson Classic just a few weeks ago. He won the Masters and the Open Men's Bodybuilding. Tim went into the over 35 division, and he took 5th place in the light heavyweight class. So congratulations, Tim. Hardy Wood also competed in the over 40 division in men's bodybuilding. Hardy was 4th place in the welterweight division. Alejandro Urbina, who I remember seeing compete at the Southern States in July. Alejandro has a very good physique, very ripped. He was in the over 40 bodybuilding in the middleweight class, and he took 4th place. And then finally, Yamil Cabral. Yamil was the overall winner at the Southern States in both the men's open bodybuilding and the masters bodybuilding. Yamil did very good. He took second place in the over 40 super heavyweight division. So congratulations to Yamil. Hopefully we'll see him on stage, maybe at the Nationals. Then going into the over 50 division in bodybuilding, Brian Nixon from the Florida area took fourth place in the middleweight class. Tim Durning, who won his division in the over 50 at the Dexter Jackson, also took first place in the over 50 division at the North America in the light heavyweight class. So very, very good job for Tim Durning. Congratulations, Tim. And then Andre Vaughn, who we just saw compete at the Florida State. He won the Masters men overall. Andre took second place in the over 50 light heavyweight division. He took second to Tim. So congratulations, Andre. Both those guys did really, really well. Tab Hunter went into the over 50 in the heavyweight division. He got second place. Congratulations, Tab. Bill Logan got fifth place in the over 50 heavyweight division. And then Philip Cooper took fourth place in the over 50 in the super heavyweight division. Moving over to the over 60, we had a couple Florida athletes that did really well. Greg Hartley took second place in the over 60 division in the lightweight class. And then Ron Banash took first place in the over 60 in the middleweight class, with Roland Tissot Jr. taking second place in that class, over 60 middleweight. So congratulations to all those guys. And then, as we mentioned before, the new husband of Danny Garcia, his name is David Rienzi, was third place in the men's open bodybuilding and the heavyweight. So congratulations to David. All right, let's move over to the men's physique. As I mentioned, Tony Candelas took first place in the over 35 in Class D. And then David Anderson was in third place in the over 40 men's physique in Class E. Christopher Matthews was fourth place in the opens men's physique in Class A. Jeff Gabriel was fifth place in the open men's physique in Class C. And then, as we mentioned already, David Camphy took first place in the open division of men's physique in Class E. All right, let's move over to the figure division. We had a few Florida athletes that did very well there. Colleen McGuire took third place in the over 35 in the figure division in Class A. Virginia Pons took fourth place in the over 45 division in Class A in women in figure. And Suzanne Ledossier took fifth place in the over 45 in the figure division in Class B. And finally, Dr. Maureen O'Connell was third place in the over 55 division in the figure and also in Class A. And then going into the figure open, we had quite a few Florida competitors that did really well. Vanessa Richards was third place in the open figure in Class A, and Colleen McGuire was fifth place in the open division in Class A in figure. Tanya Valdez was second place in Class C in figure open, and Devin Manny, who we've had on the show, we just had her training routine here, her leg training routine. She was in third place in the open figure in Class F. As I said before, I think Devin is a future pro. She looked really, really good. I would have had her in first or second. I'm a little biased. But I think if Devin goes into the Nationals, I think she's going to do really well. She doesn't get a pro card this year. I'm sure she'll get it soon. She's still a young competitor and got a great future ahead of her. And then moving into the very, very big bikini division, we had quite a few competitors from the Florida area did good. Alyssa Tavara was second place in the over 35 bikini in Class C. Dianette Parida got third place in the over 35 Class C. And Shelly Andrews was fourth place in the over 35 bikini in Class F. Then going into the bikini open, Maisie Dembski, who trains right here at the Powerhouse Gym in downtown Tampa. I was surprised to see her in the show. I see her training really hard in here. She's always in great shape. Didn't know she was doing it. She took fourth place in the bikini open in Class C. I guess Maisie got third place last year, and she's going into the Nationals this year, so she should do really well there. And then Ishmine Johnson was third place in the open bikini in Class E. And then women's physique. Nancy Ispinel was in fifth place in the over 35 women's physique in Class B. Danny Garcia, who we already mentioned, took first place not only in the over 35 but also the over 45 in Class C, and then she won the overall in the over 35, so she is now an IFBB Pro. And Tanya Griffin, who I believe just competed in the Florida State, won the women's physique there. She took 4th place in the women's physique open division in Class A. And then finally, the last division was women's bodybuilding. Carrie Woodridge was 1st place in the over 35 women's bodybuilding in the middleweight class. And then she went into the open women's bodybuilding and she took 2nd in the middleweight class. And Christine Melee was 3rd place in the over 35 women's bodybuilding in the heavyweight and went into the open and also took 3rd place there. And then finally, in the fitness division, Julianne Trebbing, who was just in the Tim Gardner Extravaganza, took 5th place in the fitness open division. So that was our Florida athletes who made the top 5 in their class in the North America. Congratulations to all of them. There was a lot more, of course, Florida athletes competing. We can't mention them all, but those were the ones that made the top 5. I did want to give special mention to them. And of course, congratulations to Tony Candelas, David Camphy, Shandy Ortiz, Beth Transu, and Danny Garcia, all from the Florida area who got their pro cards. Congratulations to them. Okay, this weekend, the first show in September, the NPC Royal Palm Classic. It's promoted by Calvin Choi. It'll be taking place September 6th, this Saturday at Fort Myers, Florida. Lee Banks, IFBB Pro, is going to be the guest poser. Lee is going to be competing in the Tijuana Pro, which will be taking place later this year after the Olympia. So Lee should be in great shape. I'm sure he's dieting now and he's going to look great. If you want more information on that, go to RoyalPalmClassic.com. We will be there at FloridaPhysique.com covering the show. You will see the full results, the photo report, and the interviews with the winners right here on FloridaPhysique.com on Sunday, the day after the show. All right, that is it for the Florida Physique Report. We had a short show this week. Next week, our guest will be Naomi Ola, bikini professional, who will be competing in the Bikini Olympia. She is now qualified, so we're going to talk to her about her preparations this year and her training and diet as she gets ready for the Olympia. 2nd year in a row if she's going to the Olympia. So congratulations, Naomi. That is it this week for the Florida Physique Report. This is episode number 8. Join us next week for the Florida Physique Report. This is John Hansen. Have a good week. We'll see you next week.